Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to the Liverpool Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates, and transfer stories straight from Anfield. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button now and stay in the loop with all things Reds. Brazilian defender Murilo won't be heading to Liverpool this month after penning a new 4-year contract at Nottingham Forest. His new deal will put to bed any chance of the 22-year-old, who has been one of the inspirations behind Forest's shock surge to third in the Premier League, moving to Anfield in the January transfer window. And it could prove costly for the Reds after Jamie Carragher suggested he's exactly the kind of player who could help them wrap up the title. Merseyside icon Carragher has bemoaned the fact Arneslot lacks a left-sided centre-back who can play left-back if required, and he suggested earlier in January that if Liverpool were to add a player of that profile this month, they would be certain to reclaim the crown. Liverpool need, I've said this for a long time, they need that left-sided defender who can sort of do a little bit of both, he said on the Stick to Football podcast, brought to you by Sky Bet. Stature, presence, and just a bit more power. That's my only... I think if Liverpool sign that player in January, nothing's been linked but it's crying out for. I think if Liverpool did that, I'd be almost certain that they'd win the league. Slot's side already boast the best defensive record in the Premier League this season, having conceded just 20 goals in 21 games. However, the centre-back options behind captain Virgil van Dijk, including Ibrahima Konate and Joe Gomez, have looked somewhat lightweight at times. Missing out on Murilo, who has played on the left side of defence for previous club Corinthians, will smart that much more, knowing the player himself has already name-checked Liverpool in terms of his own ambitions. The Brazilian cited other Premier League giants in the same sentence, but clearly has a goal of one day making that step up in scale. I had the dream of playing in the Premier League, and I had that thought, he told the Benjamin Mucho podcast last summer. I thought, I'll go to Nottingham Forest, have a good year, and then I'll go to a big club. I had that in my head. I'd choose Manchester City, but it would be more difficult for me to be a regular starter given the players they have in their squad. There's City Arsenal as well, who are fighting for the Premier League title. I wouldn't discard Liverpool either. It would be a good opportunity for me to show my football in a big club. As well as the likes of Konate and Gomez not being able to match Van Dijk's levels, the pair have each endured their injury troubles in the past. Murilo, meanwhile, has been an omnipresent force for Nuno Espirito Santo's side, who boast just as many Premier League clean sheets as Liverpool this term with 9. Liverpool boss Arne Slot has subtly applauded Martin Zubimendi's qualities as the midfielder edges towards a move to Arsenal. The Reds and the Gunners have both been linked with the Real Sociedad midfielder, who has continued to see his stock rise. Liverpool were in the hunt for the Spaniard after he produced an excellent cameo in the final of Euro 2024, but missed out. Mikel Arteta had been tracking Zubimendi prior to that, and it is reported that Arsenal have secured a deal to sign the 25-year-old come the summer. Liverpool's interest was well documented as they embarked on a summer-long quest to land the midfielder. Slot, though, has made great use of the likes of Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch, who has begun to realise the potential he showed as a youngster. The Liverpool boss insists Zubimendi, without naming him, would have been more than comfortable operating in their midfield. Such are his attributes. He told TNT Sports when discussing his deeper midfielders standing in the pocket between the opposition midfield and attack, I prefer them to get the ball behind those two. Therefore, these two, Liverpool centre-backs, are so important that we can find them behind those two, first line of opposition press, instead of asking the ball over here or there, wide. We prefer them keep more in midfield. I even think the player that we wanted to bring in, I think it's out in the open that much, was also a player that was really comfortable, is still a player that is really comfortable on the ball, and can bring the ball from our last line to our forwards. Arsenal will be the team to benefit from those talents if he does end up making the switch to the Emirates. Arteta is keen to strengthen his team, ideally in January, but may have to wait until the summer to land some major recruits. The North Londoners are not short of talent in the middle of the pitch. Martin Odegaard is the team's playmaker and has commanded the number 10 role with the likes of Declan Rice and Thomas Partey, operating behind him with the Englishman particularly earning continued plaudits. Liverpool, meanwhile, haven't struggled despite missing out on Zubimendi. Federicochiesa became their only summer signing, and even he has barely featured with slot, maximising the squad he inherited from Jurgen Klopp. The Reds are clear at the top of the Premier League and sit top of the Champions League standings. Curtis Jones admitted he was playing with fire when he lauded Eden Hazard, claiming he was a better footballer than Mohamed Salah. The Liverpool midfielder, a graduate of the club's academy, has continued to blossom in a team that has set the pace in the Premier League. Jones was quizzed by Rio Ferdinand on the players he's looked to for inspiration, originally citing Zinedine Zidane. He then hailed Steven Gerrard, who is idolised by those at Anfield, but also underlined his admiration for Hazard, who shone during his time at Chelsea. The Belgian was at the Blues for 7 years and won numerous team and individual awards during that time. In 2014, he was named the PFA Player of the Year and often stood out for Chelsea, helping them claim 2 league titles. He was hugely influential and incredibly easy on the eye, with Jones confessing he was often in awe of how he performed on the pitch. He told TNT Sports My One, and I know this might go a little bit left with our fans because of the comparisons, but Hazard for me. I know we compare with Mo. I say it as a player, as someone who loves the game. When I wanted to be like a player, I feel like Hazard was the one. Every time I watched him, I was like, wow, that was football. Salah and Hazard played in England for 2 years together, and both had standout moments in games featuring Chelsea and Liverpool. The Belgian never produced the kind of numbers that the Egyptian does. His best year in front of goal saw him score 21 times 23 fewer than Salah's best total. Jones admits that's maybe why Hazard is overlooked for certain conversations, but for pure ability, would have him ahead of his Liverpool teammate. Controversially, he said, as a footballer, is he better than Mo? In my opinion, yes. But who would you rather have on your team? You're going to say Mo, because he gets you goals and assists. Hazard's career fell off a cliff once he left Chelsea in 2019, choosing to join Real Madrid. Throughout his time in Spain, he struggled for fitness and form, as was regarded as a major flop before eventually choosing to retire. Salah, meanwhile, remains at the peak of his powers, and speculation continues to swirl over his Liverpool future with his contract winding down. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been told he is not a proper defender and he will get killed if he ends up joining Real Madrid. Alexander-Arnold is out of contract at the end of the season, and the Liverpool star has been heavily linked with a move to Madrid. Reports from Spain claim that the England international already has a verbal agreement to join the La Liga giants. However, former Arsenal and Chelsea midfielder Emmanuel Petit, who spent 1 season in La Liga with Barcelona, believes Alexander-Arnold will struggle in Spain. He's been at Liverpool for such a long time, Petit told Casino Utan Spelpaus. His game against Manchester United was a nightmare. He responded well during the FA Cup, but I'm still wondering what is his best position is on the pitch. For me, he's not a right-back. He's not a proper defender, but he's so good with the ball. So, do you offer him a huge contract? I know he's been linked with Real Madrid. Honestly, if he goes over there, they don't forgive anything at Real Madrid. He will go over there, and the fans and the club will tell Trent, forget what you've done with Liverpool so far. You won silverware in Liverpool. You were a Champions League winner. You were a Premier League winner. Forget that. That is exactly what happened to me when I went to Barcelona. They told me, forget what you've done so far. You start on a new page. So now you have to write history with us. If Trent does what he does defensively at Real Madrid, they will kill him. It doesn't matter if he gives assists or if he scores goals, they will kill him. Look what happened at the Super Cup final. Oh my God. Defensively, it was a nightmare to watch for Real Madrid. So can you imagine Trent Alexander-Arnold in this mess? After 2-3 games, they will kill him. If I was Trent Alexander-Arnold, I would think about it twice. Petit's comments come after Roy Keane suggested Alexander-Arnold is a League Two defender after he struggled against Manchester United earlier this month. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been all over the place defensively, Keane said on Sky Sports. His defending has been schoolboy stuff. He's got to do better. They're talking about him going to Real Madrid. The way he's defending, he's going to Tranmere Rovers after this. He's got to do better.